Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen. Welcome back to another live stream brought to you by the awesome people over at Princess Dental Staffing. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So glad that you could be here with me today. So, today's topic, we're bringing you 5 more tips to be an awesome dental assistant. So, a couple of weeks ago, we brought you 5 tips 2 weeks ago that were directly from dental assistants, people with boots on the ground that do this all day, every day. And so, we brought you some 5 crucial tips to, really strengthen yourself as a dental assistant and becoming the best possible dental assistant you can be. Last week, we took a break in order to say thank you to all the dentists for National Dentist Day. Okay, and today we're continuing our series from a couple weeks ago and giving you 5 more dental assisting tips. So we're going to go through these tips, and if you have any dental assistants on your team who already do these, be sure to give them a shout out, give them a thank you, right? Definitely giving out a lot of thank yous these past weeks. So, and I think it's a great trend. I definitely think it's a great thing to kind of continue and keep up. People do more when they feel appreciated. So, give your dental assistant a thank you today. Okay. All right. But before we get into these tips, just want to remind everyone that each week Princess Dental Staffing is bringing you a new live stream covering a topic regarding your career in the dental industry. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, be sure to follow our page or subscribe to our channel. If you like the content that we're bringing you, be sure to drop us a like. And if you have any thoughts or insights or anything that you want to add and be part of the conversation, be sure to comment below. And if we couldn't get to your comment when the stream was live, of course, we will respond as soon as possible. Okay. Also, if you have some time today, head over to princessdentalstaffing.com. So, Princess Dental Staffing, if you're new to these streams, Princess Dental Staffing is an online dental job board, and they have positions available for dental receptionists, dental assistants, dental hygienists, and dentists in a variety of different areas. We've got full time, part time, permanent, and temporary roles. So, visit princessdentalstaffing.com today, see what positions are available in your area. Also, super easy to create a profile and get your information in front of hiring managers. And while you're on princessdentalstaffing.com, you can also check out their blog, which covers a lot of the same topics that we cover in these live streams. Okay, so you can watch this stream and then you can read about it. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into these tips. Okay, so tip number 1, provide great patient care. Okay, it seems a little on the nose, but it's a great tip. One of the assistants that was interviewed was quoted as saying, "The patient in the chair is the most important patient." Okay, and that's a great outlook to have. That's a really impactful outlook to have because, as you're going through your day, and in any profession really, as you're going through your day, it's really easy to kind of get caught up in what you were just doing or thinking about kind of what you're going to be doing, right? And sometimes you're not really fully present for what's happening right in front of you. Okay. So I love this quote, "The patient in the chair is the most important patient," because it kind of helps you be in the moment, right? Live in the moment and take care of the patient that is right in front of you and give them the best possible patient care. Okay, and focusing on that. So what is good patient care? What is excellent patient care? Things like having a welcome attitude, being kind and attentive, offering great communication, all these things will help you provide excellent patient care. Some other things that you can do are communicating with the patient by letting them know what you're doing during the appointment. We kind of touched on this on the previous stream a couple weeks ago, communicating with the patient and how important that is. Again, you're working in a very small area in the patient's mouth, right? A lot of the times you're working in the, very small area and they can't really see what's going on. So they can kind of feel what's kind of going on, but they can't really see it. That can be really nerve-wracking. So one of the ways that we kind of mitigate that dental anxiety is by talking to the patient, continuously communicating with them, letting them know what you're doing, maybe even why, and those sorts of things. Okay. Additionally, checking in with the patient to make sure they're okay. So, definitely read their body language as well. And sometimes if you read their body language, you can kind of tell if they're in pain or if they're a little anxious or maybe a little frustrated or something like that. But it's also a good idea to check in and ask the question, right? Sometimes body language can be misinterpreted. You definitely want to pay attention to it, but just to get clarification on the message that is being sent, you definitely want to check in and say, how are you doing? Is this okay? How are you feeling? Something like that. Okay. Providing post-op instructions for any procedure, right? That's always the best idea. Providing those instructions to ensure that healing needs to happen, does happen, and that you avoid, things like infection and those sorts of things. And also talking with the doctor and communicating during the procedure or the appointment to make sure that the patient gets the best quality care. So you can communicate with the patient, that's always a good idea, but also communicate with the dentist as well when you're with them. Okay. Another pro tip that will likely score you bonus points with the dentist is to be conservative with the materials that you're using, right? So make best use out of the materials that you're using so that you don't waste too much, and that can help the office save money. Okay? All right. Tip number 2, keep one jump ahead, all right? So, if you've ever seen the movie Aladdin, right? Gotta keep one jump ahead, right? That's how he stayed out of trouble, by keeping one jump ahead, by anticipating needs is another way to say this. So, thinking about what people are going to do and then anticipating and preparing for that. So, as a dental assistant, this translates into, thinking like the dentist, maybe going through the procedure in your mind, or thinking about the procedure so that the instrument that's going to be used next so that you can be prepared, right? And you can keep one jump ahead, and that way your procedure or your appointment goes much more smoothly with as little downtime as possible. Okay. So keep one jump ahead, be ready to pass the right instrument, and go from there. Okay. Number 3, be willing to learn. Okay, so if you are absolutely the best dental assistant that ever dental assisted in the history of dental assistantdom, okay, maybe you are, or maybe you're, top 10%, who knows? But even if you are the absolute best dental assistant that exists right now, in a few years, you may not be, because you need to continuously learn, right? The dental industry is constantly changing. You need to be able to keep up with that. So that might mean things like, researching and learning, new trends in the dental industry, new equipment, new procedures, um, being learning about the latest research and those sorts of things. It might mean being open-minded and willing to help others in a different area of the dental practice. It could mean a lot of different things for you. Okay, but the main point here, the main tip here, is to be willing to learn. Things are changing. You're going to have to, keep up with that if you want to make sure that you are providing the best possible patient care. Okay. So, pro tip here, consider joining an organization in order to stay abreast and keeping pace with, a lot of the developments within the dental industry. So, joining organizations such as the ADA or the ADAA or your state dental association in order to get that continuing education and to, kind of develop yourself as a dental assistant, always a great idea. Okay. Tip number 4, use time wisely. Okay. So make sure you are making the most of your time. Um, you know, cell phones, obviously, for as long as they've been around, essentially have been a very strong distraction, especially in the workplace. And, being distracted by your phone can mean that you make mistakes, that you forget about things, that you drop the ball, and all of those sorts of things. So, using your time well and productively, okay, can really help you kind of avoid, again, making those mistakes, being prepared for patients, for procedures, and for what the day may bring, and all of those sorts of things. So, before you sit down in the back room and, get on your phone, play a game, text, email, whatever it is that you do on your phone. I like games. Just think about, during work hours, at least think about what else you could be doing in order to use this time wisely, to prepare, or maybe, finish something up, or something like that. Okay. Pro tip: if you want to impress the office staff, consider doing things like taking out the trash, confirming appointments, or calling patients with incomplete treatment plans. All those sorts of things. Those are great ways to use your time wisely and making sure that you're getting the most out of your day. Okay. And lastly, tip number 5: be positive, prepared, and proactive. I know that's really more like 3 tips in one, but it's alliterative. So, you know what? You get 3 for the price of one today. Okay. So, being positive, starting your day with a positive attitude. One of the assistants that was interviewed said that a positive attitude was one of the key success factors, okay, in being successful as a dental assistant. Being positive is definitely a practice, right? It's not just something you are; it's something that you routinely engage in. It's something that you practice, right? And when you practice it, then when things get a little bit tough, which, sometimes they just do, right? Sometimes things get challenging. And when you have that positive attitude, or that practice already in place, it makes it a lot easier to kind of get through the day and get through those challenges. Furthermore, a positive attitude is contagious. Right? You having a positive attitude can really influence and impact the attitudes of others around you. So, a positive attitude is always a great thing to have. And being prepared. Trying not to make a Lion King reference right now. We had Aladdin earlier, and now I've got Scar on the brain. Be prepared, right? Means thinking ahead, essentially. So sort of like anticipating needs, kind of like we were talking about earlier. We were talking about being one jump ahead. It's a Disney day. I think it's just, and I think it's just going to be a Disney day. So when we were talking about being, one jump ahead, thinking like the dentist, and, anticipating those needs, being prepared means kind of extending that out to everything, right? So like, for example, packing an extra pair of casual clothes and scrubs in case you hit an accident on the way to work, or things of that nature. So be prepared and think about things that can go wrong, and try to plan for those things so that you have a plan B when plan A doesn't go exactly the way it's supposed to, right? Be prepared. And be proactive. Okay, so again, this one kind of goes hand in hand with using time wisely, and also being willing to learn as well. Being proactive. Okay, your career is your career. Okay, and it's largely impacted by your actions and your planning, and by the effort that you put into it. So being proactive in learning, um new evolutions and updates and things like that in the dental industry, being proactive and learning, about the office itself, and what different job titles do within the office, what your different team members do. Um, Learning more about, dental procedures and those sorts of things, that requires you to be proactive. So, really, it takes all of these tips all together, and basically says that none of these tips are really going to help you unless you're proactive about them, unless you put in the time, effort, and energy. Okay, so be proactive. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go over them just one more time before we wrap up, and I let you go here. Number 1, providing great patient care. Make sure you're communicating with your patient. Make sure you're communicating with the dentist. The patient in the chair is the most important patient. That is a great quote. Number 2, keeping one jump ahead. Okay, anticipating those needs to make sure that the appointment or the procedure goes more smoothly. Number 3, be willing to learn. The dental industry is changing all the time, so being willing to update and, change and evolve with the dental industry can really help you in your career as a dental assistant. Number 4, using time wisely. Making sure that you're, using your minutes, the limited number of minutes that you have in a day to the best of your ability, to be prepared, to be, engaged, to be in the moment, and to be doing the best that you can. And lastly, number 5, being positive, prepared, and proactive. I say it's 3 in 1. So, what is your number 1 dental assisting tip? Are you a dental assistant or maybe a dentist, or someone who works with dental assistants? Comment below your number 1 dental assisting tip and share it with everyone. Let's help everyone become the best dental assistant that they can be. Okay. All right. Thanks for spending your Wednesday here with me today, everyone. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday, with a new topic regarding your career in the dental industry. Until then, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Continue to stay safe out there. I'll see you soon. Bye.